This video is made for adult collectors because I'm still sick.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Why did it take so long for us to finally get articulated G1 toys? I don't know, but I'm glad it's a thing now. Whoa. Congestion really coming out today. Wow. I love G1 toys. Got into them a few years ago and I've been collecting them more and more now to the point where I'm branching into Brave shit. So when Takara announced that for the 40th anniversary of Transformers we were going to be getting a fully articulated G1 Optimus Prime, I was so excited. This thing though, does it live up to the hype? Yes, it does. Well, mostly. It mostly does. This is Missing Link Optimus Prime Anime Edition. So this one's based off the cartoon colors, but I wanted the toy version. I just didn't want to pay for the expensive trailer and the bits. Fortunately, this one does come with toy stickers still, so let's just get those on there. That's better. This thing is a spitting image of that original G1 toy. All the chrome and the die cast is where it should be. All of the lines and the rivets are in place. I don't have a G1 Optimus Prime to compare this to, unfortunately, but I did get a chance to put this next to a Magnus at TFCon because Dennis bought a Magnus, and yeah, this thing looks super cool next to the original mold. It's G1 Optimus Prime. It's hard to mess up. He fits pretty well even in a pose next to some other G1 toys. Like, he's gonna live with these guys after the video, so he fits super well. All of the joints feel solid, with some even being ratcheted. That was something I was worried about, because it's G1 with new bits. Sometimes adding new bits to a tried and tested piece of engineering can go wrong, but this doesn't. It works very well. He does come with some things, a G1 style box I had to get rid of because I couldn't fit it in my suitcase, unfortunately. His instructions that tell you to finger the box. Not gonna lie, I kind of wish that they made these look like the classic instructions. A clothing tag for some reason, and an ad for the other version. But Takara, I get the whole nostalgia marketing on this toy, and it works. I understand that. But why did you have to put this in one of the most environmentally damaging packaging materials? The styrofoam bugged me. Yes, it's biodegradable now if you take it to the right place, but how many people are actually going to go through the trouble of paying the dump to get rid of your styrofoam? He also has his typical axe and his gun, and the axe actually encompasses the whole hand. Take that, Reactivate Prime. And the removable matrix and removable matrix chamber if you want just the seats like the original. I like that feature. And the selling point is the posing. So how good is it really? So as you saw, this thing is quite posable, and one thing I noticed while posing it around and stuff, now that the stickers are on, the knee ones they don't quite 100% fit. So you got to be careful with the tops here because you can like rub them off. This and this keep bumping into each other. I need to move them off the deck. But this guy does still do some interesting things in like the shoulders and the feet and stuff. So the head can only rotate. Kind of disappointing. I wish it was on a ball joint. You can technically look up, but then it looks like that, and I don't like the way that looks. But yeah, there's no up and down at the head, which is a real shame in my opinion. These shoulders can rotate. They can do a full 360. This one on mine likes to get stuck here. And you gotta like click it past a thing, or you just go the entire other way around. But I've also not heard anybody else have this issue, so I think there's just a piece of plastic in mine that needs to like be shaved off. The arms can go out at this joint right here, and then they can go out at that joint right there to get them to go all the way up, which is nice. They're only limited by the smokestack, which if you rotate this, boom. Now his arm can go all the way up. You also have butterfly joint due to transformation. The elbows, really nice ratchet joints. He does have bicep rotation. The wrists can rotate. They can also tilt inward for transformation, and his fingers can open and close. And actually, are these 5? I think these are 5mm. Let's test this. 5mm. Haha, yes. His hands are 5mm, so that's cool. One thing I forgot to record the first time I did this was he does also have a nav crunch. It's one click, goes about that far, and it's kind of scary going back.
Oh, you have to like grip it at a very specific point like this to get it to work. There's this nice convenient little screw hole thing that you can grab onto. And then to push it back, I usually just grab it here and just push it back like that. But he does have an ab crunch. That is the thing. Now, the biggest disappointment, in my opinion, for the posing on this guy is his waist joint. He has one. That's as far as it goes. That's it. That's all you're getting. Because this is a separate piece from the waist joint. It would have been nice if, say, like, the waist had a cut here and this was attached to this entire block assembly down here, so that when you rotated it, this didn't bump into the tires and you could get a little bit more movement out of it. Or if they did sort of like an Armada Optimus with the front end. But yeah, the front end is completely stationary, so it does bump into the wheels. And even if you move the wheels out of the way, it'll still bump because you can't get the wheels all the way out of the way just due to how much space is in here, because this still has to be G1 Optimus. So you don't really get a waist joint. It's like 15 degrees both ways. It's kind of annoying. I wish they'd done that a little bit differently. The hips, so these move out of the way, right? The hips can go forward that far. They can go back that far. He can do the full splits, which is nice. You do have thigh rotation. You have a very nice ratcheted knee that bends more than 90 degrees. And then you have ankles that can go down. They can go up, and when they go up, watch the heel. The heel comes out. So like you still have a flat foot when you push the foot forward. I like that. I think that's a neat touch. And the bill, when you bring it down, you have to like manually push it back into place. And then you have, it's a toe pivot, but like there's no way they could have moved the whole ankle. But it still is serviceable. It does what it needs to do. So like he has a lot of joints in this thing, and it's impressive to see all this in a G1 toy. I just wish his head was on a ball joint, and I wish they had figured out some different way to do this. Also, the hips, when you split them, right, there's nothing really holding them in place, so they can feel a bit weird. They're not like, it's not like they're gonna fall apart or anything. They're really sturdy. It's just they just sit on weird joints. So like the whole like waist section is strange. Everything else I really, really like.
So yeah, this does exactly what it is meant to, and it does it quite well. Now, it does change some of the transformation to do all those crazy tricks, so let's see if it ruined it at all.
Now, his transformation is just G1 Optimus Prime, but with a couple little, like tiny little twists to it. So I guess we'll start by, well, we'll get the head folded away. Just your typical G1 Optimus, get the legs straightened out. Now, the first little weird new thing that they added is that it's out of focus, is you pull the tires up, right? And then you take this entire hip assembly right here, push it together. You push it together and make sure that it's lined up underneath this, because it'll shift around. So make sure it's lined up underneath this. Fold the feet back, and then bring the legs up, and they'll sit in these little cradles here, like that. So you bring them up, sit them in their little cradles, peg the legs together, like so. Ooh, almost ripped a sticker off. And that's the leg all done. Now the arms. The arms do your same, oops, fold those down. Your same sort of generic Optimus Prime thing, but you fold the fists in to expose actual headlights, not just giant holes in the front of the truck, which is nice. And then you just bring these in like that, and make sure this is sitting above the bumper section, because if you don't, it leaves a little gap right here, and it's kind of annoying. So just make sure you push that in and over the bumper section. See? It'll leave this gap if it's not situated properly. And that's it. That's your G1 Optimus Prime. They literally just added like a couple steps. Also, if you don't like the way that the Matrix looks in there, you can remove this whole thing to expose the Diaclone seats. And there you go. Now you have the Diaclone seats. The weapons, they didn't reinvent a way to store them, but like if you buy the whole thing, you just chuck it in a trailer and call it a day. I didn't buy the whole thing because I couldn't fit the whole thing in a suitcase, but let's put this back in here. Also, yes, he can, ooh, the stickers. He can still do the thing. He can still do it, there you go. He can do the thing, yay. He can also do this, which I find very funny, is if you fold the feet, leave the heel, you fold the feet down and you bring them out, you can now do this See if he'll stand. There you go. That's funny, right?
So after that, we're left with just a G1 Optimus Prime. Like, there's nothing here that really screams this is a new version apart from maybe the headlights existing. It's so spot on and feels almost the same that it's kind of weird in a way, but cool at the same time. It also does fit the old trailer. I don't have any of the old trailers, but I did put G1 Magnus's trailer on this and it fit 100%. It just feels and looks great, though the fit is a bit off, with the arms fitting in a weird way. There also is a part where my copy's legs don't want to tab in 100% and the crotch doesn't want to either, and if you squeeze one, the other comes out. It's a very weird sort of way everything pegs in, and something's just not lined up 100% on like the tooling or whatever, so when you put this together, it doesn't 100%, it's like 99% there. But that's like my only gripe with the truck mode. This thing still rocks, but is it $70 rocks? Well, so this thing is technically a reissue type thing, and those tend to be higher priced. It's limited, and it's an import, so I get it. But it is still expensive. I really like it, and for a perfect G1 Prime Cab figure, you'd probably end up spending the same amount on the original toy, so like, this being that price, I understand it. It's still cool, and I recommend one, but if you can eat that cost, if you can get as much enjoyment out of it, if you think you're going to get that much enjoyment out of it, then go for it. But it is still a higher price to pay for something. But that's my look at Missing Link Optimus. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.